my creatives, and welcome to another video. So today I'm here with a mixed media art journal process video, and we are going to work on a cleanup page. So this page already has some random media on there because they were left over from other projects, and these two pages do not match with each other, but I'm going to make sure that they will match together. I'm going to create a double page spread. So first of all, I'm using this lace stencil by Holtz, and that is one stencil that I also used on the other side with some modeling paste, I believe. So I thought it was a good way to connect these two pages together. I also used the stencil that I'm going to use right now on the other page as a cleaning up my stencil. So I thought it was a good idea to use this one as well. And when I put this stencil on, it really gave me the feel for the page, because I'm going to repeat this and I'm going to make sure to overlap both pages to create more of a cohesive art journal page. And then after I did this, I started to feel the vibe for where this page was going. So the page for today is about my anxiety, and I will share with you how I deal with these feelings and let art journaling help me with that. But first of all, I'm working in this little art journal because I had some paints left over, and as you know, I don't like to throw away my paints, so I decided to take one of my art journals out and just put the stenciling in there. I've been working on this page since, I don't know, forever, and I never finished it. Maybe I will finish it one day soon, but every once in a while I will add something to that page because I find that I'm using colors that will fit it. I'm also going to add another stenciling to this page, and I really wanted to create this colorful and happy background, and I wanted to create lots of texture because I was planning on doing something on this page to make a big contrast. So I really needed a textured background. So there's not really a focal point right now on this page, and there will not be in this stage, because it's more about the texture. I'm using a stamp right now, and I'm using some Archival Ink to create more texture, and also I'm using some green because there was already some green on the page, and now I'm using some purple ink and a Finnabair clear stamp to create more texture. So this really is all about texture and just letting go, just going for it. Don't think about it. I don't think about this with this process. The only thing I think about is what kind of texture do I want and what colors do I want, and that makes that I'm going to add things to my page. It's the same for this stamp. I haven't used this stamp before because I always use the other one with the lowercase letters, and now I also know why, because these capital letters are quite out there, so it needs a certain type of project for me to use them, but it was fun to use this stamp after all. Now I'm grabbing my gesso and I'm mixing that up a little bit because I want to add some white splatters. I felt that the page needed a little bit of lightness and a little bit of white underneath, so that is why I decided to use some gesso, and I just watered it down a little bit. It's on the side, you don't see it on camera, but I just watered it down a little bit, and now I'm just going in there with a brush and making splatters. I absolutely love making splatters. It's a very fun activity to do, and it gave the lightness that I was looking for. So what I'm doing now is the reason why I wanted this very bright, colorful background is because I decided that I'm going to mask things out with black. I have this Birch stencil from Holtz that I never used before, and I thought this was the perfect page to use it because the stencil is a perfect size for this journal. And I'm just going to repeat stencil it next to each other, trying to make sure to offset it a little bit every time that I am moving it. And I also started in the middle to make sure that I wouldn't run out of space or it would look weird. So I'm just stenciling that and repeating that all over the page. So this page is about my anxiety, and I was in 2 weeks where I had pretty bad anxiety, and it was very difficult to deal with. And what I like to do is give myself a little pick-me-up when this happens, and I usually do that in my art journal. And for this art journal page, I really wanted to have my anxiety on top of my bright, happy personality that I have, and I wanted to showcase that. And that is why I chose the black and the very bright color background. I thought the trees weren't quite standing out enough, so that's why I decided to grab my Posca paint marker, and I'm just loosely tracing around the stenciling. So this is not an exact science, you don't have to trace them perfectly. It's more about adding a highlight and adding another kind of texture to it, and I think this really helped a lot with this page. Now I'm going to take this masking tape and I'm going to write out my feelings on this masking tape, and this will be my quote on the page. I made this one up myself, which was quite exciting. So it says, "Let your colorful light shine upon the dark shadows," because that is how it felt for me dealing with my anxiety, and I was trying to let my colorful light shine upon that to, you know, cast it away. I do accept that I have these feelings, but sometimes I need a little pick-me-up, and that is what I needed here. I thought it was fun to write my quote on a masking tape, like it was kind of a band-aid on there, and I am using my Posca paint markers to write it out. I used the pink marker to create a drop shadow, and I really love that, and I'm using a white Jelly Roll Sakura to create some highlights in my quote, and I really enjoyed doing this, and it was so nice to see something else and do a bit something a little bit different. So now I'm going to put my masking tape over my forest with the colorful lights, and I am going to put them a little bit diagonally on there to create more of a fun element. I love to add things in a diagonal way because it gives a feeling of movement and it's more dynamic. So that's something you see a lot in my pages. And now I'm grabbing some more of that masking tape to create a little bit of texture, like it is stuck on there with these pieces of masking tape, and it felt really like a healing kind of thing, like I'm having some band-aids on there or something like that. And I just needed a little bit of texture. I thought it was just a little bit blah if I would only put the masking tape with a quote on there and not add anything else. This was a very fun process and also different. It felt really different for me to work on this page, and it was very exciting, and I found a new refound art journal love inside of me, and I'm very, very happy for that. So I'm just ripping up the random pieces, and I'm also using the scrap pieces from the quote strips that I had, and I don't use any extra glue on this, mainly also because I'm lazy, but I never had that the masking tape was coming off because it's just in my art journal and my art journal will be closed, but you could add some extra adhesive if you would like, or if it would make you feel better to prevent it from coming up. I never had this problem with this masking tape, but it also depends on which masking tape you have. Mine is from Action, I believe, and I'm just using that. It's a very nice tape and I really had fun using it. So it was still a little bit blah when I finished with this, and I decided to take a purple gelato. So this is a metallic purple gelato, and I'm going to create some shadows also to help the texture come up a little bit more, so you would be able to see it a little bit more. And it also defines the quote a little bit. So what I do is I put a little bit of the gelato on my page, and I'm moving it around with my finger, and I'm building up the colors. So that is what you see me do here. I never do too much at once. I try to build up the color. I also took a little bit of black. I didn't want to have too much black, but in some areas I wanted to have it a little bit darker. Now I take the stamp set from Finnabair, and I'm going to stamp out some butterflies, and I will end up using 5 of these little butterflies. As you know, butterflies have a special meaning for me, as if I, became a butterfly, and I am free right now, so I want to resemble that on this page, and that I can feel better again, and it's okay to have these feelings that I have right now. Art journaling is a very healing process for me to do, and it is funny because I often make my best pages when I feel absolutely horrible, but that's probably because it's so an emotional thing for me to do, and it is really digging into your inner emotions and putting them onto paper. So I decided to use these 5 butterflies to create my cluster and let your eye move a little bit over the page, and then I stuck them down with some Nouveau Deluxe glue. And then this will be the end of my art journal page. I'm going to write down the date, and then this is my art journal page. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I would love it if you'd give me a thumbs up. I would also love it if you'd consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Put the notification bell on all notifications so you don't miss any of my videos. And you can also become a patron of mine if you would like me to create more of this free content. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you all next time. Bye!